Howdy, my name is Mitchell Whittington from the Visit Jefferson YouTube channel. If you've been to Jefferson, Texas, then you've probably heard the name Diamond Bessie. Tour guides often mention her, and there are hotels and B&Bs that even have rooms named after her. It all began with a murder, which escalated into the trial of the century that captured the attention of the entire nation. The story started on Friday, January 19, 1877, when a well-dressed couple stepped off a train in Jefferson, Texas. The woman wore beautiful jewelry, including two very striking diamond rings. They unloaded their luggage and checked into the Brooks House Hotel on Vale Street, with the man signing the register as A. Monroe and wife from St. Louis, Missouri. Over the next day or so, they were seen all around town, visiting the various shops and having a drink or two in the city's bars and taverns. That Saturday night, however, they were heard arguing in their room. On Sunday, January 21st, they purchased a picnic lunch in Henrique's restaurant on Polk Street. The lunch consisted of a cooked chicken, sandwiches, pickles, and 2 bottles of beer. The couple was then seen walking across the Polk Street Bridge over the Big Cypress Bayou with the picnic lunch. Later that day, the man, A. Monroe, was seen walking back alone. Later, at the Brooks house, someone asked him about his wife. He replied that she was having dinner in a local restaurant. Even later, when asked again, he said that she had stayed across the river with friends. Folks noticed that he was wearing the 2 diamond rings that had been on his wife's fingers. There were no trains out of town on Monday, so A. Monroe spent the entire day sequestered in his room, but there was still no sign of his wife. A. Monroe took the first train out of Jefferson on Tuesday morning, January 23rd, and he had both his and his wife's luggage with him. Again, there was no sign of his wife. The events of their visit were soon forgotten, at least for the next week or so. On a cold Wednesday afternoon, February 5th, 1877, a woman named Sarah King was gathering firewood south of Big Cypress Bayou in Jefferson. She suddenly made a very grisly discovery: the dead body of a woman. Sarah King ran to town and reported her find to the authorities, then took them back to the body. The coroner determined that the victim had been shot in the left temple at a very close range. Remnants of a picnic were found nearby, including chicken bones, pickle fragments, and beer bottles. The woman was identified as the wife of A. Monroe, and with no money found with her body, there were no funds to bury her. Feeling pity for her, the town took up a collection, and $150 was raised to buy her a casket and a plot in the local Oakwood Cemetery. It wasn't long before the authorities put the pieces of the crime together and a manhunt was launched for A. Monroe. They soon learned that his name was actually Abe Rothschild from Cincinnati, the heir to the Rothschild diamond fortune. A former Marion County Sheriff, John Vines, was dispatched from Texas to Cincinnati to bring Rothschild back to stand trial for the murder of his wife. By then, it had been learned that her name was Bessie Moore and that she was a prostitute. Her time in various brothels had earned her the nickname Diamond Bessie, since she often took jewelry in trade for her services. She had apparently met up with Abe in one of these houses of ill repute, and the two started traveling together. They were married in Danville, Illinois, just 9 days before arriving in Jefferson. Rothschild arrived back in town on April 7th, 1877, and was jailed awaiting a hearing. Abe's family hired the best lawyers available to defend him, although he was denied bail. A series of delays and continuances followed, some filed by Abe's own team of lawyers, and almost a full year dragged by. When it came time for trial, the lawyers immediately filed for a change of venue, stating that Abe could not get a fair trial in Marion County. This was granted, and the trial began at the courthouse in Marshall, Texas, on December 17, 1878. 1 week later, it had been completed, and a verdict of guilty was returned, with a mandatory death sentence. Rothschild's lawyers quickly appealed the verdict, and it was overturned on 2 technicalities. With the verdict overturned, a new trial was started on December 16, 1880, at the courthouse in Jefferson, some 3.5 years after Rothschild had first been brought back for trial. 2 weeks later, he was found not guilty. Although there were rumors of bribery and jury tampering, Abe Rothschild was allowed to walk out of court as a free man. That isn't the end of the story, however. It is said that in the 1890s, a handsome man visited Oakwood Cemetery and asked the caretaker where the grave of Diamond Bessie was. The stranger then laid a wreath of roses on the grave and knelt in prayer. When he finally stood, the stranger gave the caretaker $10 and departed. Some say that it was Abe Rothschild come to pay his final respects. The years went by, and one evening in November 1933, sometime between sundown and sunup, something mysterious occurred. A new marker appeared on the grave. It had a diamond chiseled into the stone with the words Bessie Moore, December 31st, 1876. Although the date of death was wrong, the sentiment was heartfelt. 8 years later, in 1941, ironworker Ed McDonald revealed himself as the benefactor, saying that he did it just to get the town talking. In a later interview, he also added, "I placed it there one night because it just didn't seem right for Diamond Bessie to sleep in an unmarked grave." It is said that McDonald also quietly put roses on the grave from time to time, leading to the legend that an unseen hand periodically placed flowers on the grave of Diamond Bessie. In the 1960s, the Jesse Allen Wise Garden Club built a wrought iron fence around the grave and put a bench there for visitors to rest. A metal plaque was attached to the fence bearing the same date as the tombstone, December 31st, 1876, instead of the actual date of death, which is believed to be January 21st, 1877. To this day, there are always flowers on Diamond Bessie's grave. In 1955, a play depicting the trial of Abe Rothschild was written based on the original legal transcripts. Although it is a lighthearted adaptation, it is surprisingly accurate. It's been performed every year since during the May Historic Pilgrimage in Jefferson and sells out to capacity crowds every year. For more information, go to diamondbessieplay.com. It's a lot of fun. Well, that's the basic story of Diamond Bessie. Even though Rothschild was acquitted, most folks believe he was guilty of her murder. I certainly do, and I've studied the case close enough to write an entire book about it. Today, visitors to town visit her grave and leave mementos. My wife is the chairman of the garden club committee that takes care of the grave, and we've found everything from Mardi Gras beads to stuffed animals to costume jewelry that people have left to honor Bessie. A lot of folks leave coins, which we collect and put in the fund to keep flowers on the grave. One strange thing is that every December, we find a semicircle of plastic martini glasses around the headstone. They have been carefully placed there as if some folks were paying their respects to the lady by drinking a toast to her. Diamond Bessie has taken her place as a major part of Jefferson's history. If you'd like to know even more about her death, the book Diamonds and Death, The True Tragic Tale of Diamond Bessie Moore has the complete story. If you enjoyed this video, I know that Diamond Bessie would love a like. Just click on the little thumbs up below. Also, if you'd like to be notified as more Jefferson, Texas videos are posted, hit the subscribe button to stay informed. Meanwhile, when you're in town, visit her grave and leave a token to let her know you were there. I'm sure that Bessie would appreciate it.